All right, resource guarding. Let's talk about resource guarding, what it is. I think it's very important to understand what a behavior is and what drives a behavior before we just go to attack the behavior head on. It's important to understand the what's and the whys behind it before we get into the active doing of it. So resource guarding, it could be, a resource could be anything. Food, water, a toy, a person, a space, like a couch, a bed. It's dogs taking ownership of this and not letting other dogs near things, not letting other people near things. Usually it can look like hovering over an object like this. It's that freeze. They're looking down, but their eyes are looking to the side like this. That's resource guarding, even though it might not be a more dramatic version. So that's a lighter version. So even this, I'm gonna be a dog here for this scenario. Let's say this toy. This toy is a resource. It can look like this. That simple freezing over top of it, bending over, staring down, but looking, making sure that like no one's coming. So here it's down, my eyes looking around. Okay, so it can look like that. It could look like this, where we start the growling now. Growling is, a lot of times people think that this isn't anything. That's the start of it. Then we have growling. Then we have, it can escalate like that, but it can start looking like any of these. You have the snap, if you come close, snap, snap, snap. And then you have the full on leaving the resource, and say someone's over there leaving the resource, charging and going for air snaps or bites. So it can look like any of those. The big reason I pull out that first one is a lot of people don't recognize that first one, and it's not a big deal to them. But if we can catch it there, then we can catch it, then we can stop it, before the end of the road. Now let's talk about the whys. Why do dogs do these? There's two reasons why dogs could resource guard. One could be that this resource is extremely special to them, and it's something that they might not be able to get. And let me explain further what that looks like. Let's say you have multiple dogs, and one dog you put like a bowl of food down and they scarf it up, so by the time the other dog gets there, it's gone. Or they were from a litter of 12 puppies and they were the ones who didn't get the food first or didn't eat it fast enough. So when they got to it, there wasn't any left. That's resource guarding can build from that, where they truly believe, I'm going to lose out on this resource if I don't get to it and protect it. With toys, so that's like maybe food related. With toys, it could be, I'm never gonna get this again. If you're gonna take it, I feel like you're gonna take it from me and I'm never gonna have it again. So it can be that, so it can stem from that, but also can stem from something else and look different. It can stem from a need to control a situation. Dogs that feel like they don't have control will try to control where they can. And not all dogs. This is, a lot of times, this is where genetics plays into it. It's a genetic disposition of needing to control the environment, where they say, I don't have control of this, let me find this, let me find this, I can control this, so those are the two reasonings. So I think it's important to find out which one is yours. Is it that truly they believe that they're gonna miss out and lose on this resource, or is it a need to control the environment? So an example would be, say my dogs, never resourced guarded food before, is fine with toys, is like fine with spaces, but then all of a sudden my dog has a dead bird in its mouth, and the person tries to go get the dead bird out of the mouth and they're like, "Arr." That's resource guarding, but that's probably not a control factor, because a control factor, you're not going to see it in one space. They're going to try to control different situations. That is I have something of extreme value, I love this, and if you take it away, I'm probably not going to give it back, and I love it so much. So you have that, but let's say you're seeing it, every time your dog eats or every time they have a toy, then you're kind of looking at more of a control factor. So it's important to say, okay, when does my dog do it? What situations does my dog do it in? To kind of break down the why behind it, because the why is important. The why here is important. If it's a control factor, we're going to handle it differently than if it's I truly believe I'm not getting this resource factor. Now let's go to how we're going to handle those. So we know the whys, we know what they potentially could be. We might not know what ours is, but we know what they could be. How you would handle them differently. If it's the case of this thing is a dead bird, this thing is $1 million. And I'm scared if you're gonna take it away, I'm never gonna get it back, kind of thing. That's a relationship issue. That's where there's trust. Your dog obviously trusts you enough on a day-to-day, but doesn't trust you enough when it comes to the $1 million things. You're here to steal my things. That lets me know I have to rebuild that trust with my dog in other places. So I'm big on respect is a two-way street. I give my dog the same respect that I would, I'd want somebody to give to me. And it goes down to, I was working with someone one time and they were feeding their dog and they're like, oh yeah, every day I feed my dog, I stick my hand in there to show them that like I'm in charge or whatever. I'm like, well, that is awful, because I swear if I was eating a cheesecake and my husband stuck his hand in my cheesecake, I would stab him in the eye with my fork. You don't touch my food. Don't touch my food. Am I an aggressive person? Am I generally going to resource things? No. But it's a respect thing. It has nothing to do with, resource guarding as a whole. I feel like I'm going to lose this out. I know I'm not going to lose my cheesecake, but the disrespect of you touching my food, that it's crazy to me. And I think about it almost like a kid-parent relationship as well. Although there's a hierarchy, and my kids know that I am higher on this hierarchy chain than they are, I don't stick my hands in their food. I don't take their food away as a respect thing. There's other ways where I can implement consequences, but there is a basic respect that we're going to follow, and I abide by that with my dog through and through. If my dog is eating, kids, get away from my dog. Our dog. That sounded so bad. That is how I feel. I'm gonna give you what I would want. No one goes near him when he's eating. I'm not gonna take away your food. Why the heck would I do that? That's crazy. That's wild. Your toys, I'm never gonna take a toy out of your mouth. I'm always going to exchange with you. Here, you have this, take this. If you have, say you've stolen something like a towel and you're running around the house with it, I'm going to exchange with you. The only time, there is one and one only exception to this rule, is if you have something that is dangerous in your mouth. Dangerous. Like you swallow this and we're gonna have to go to the animal hospital and we're gonna have them go in and get this out. That's the only time I'm diving on top of you and pulling this thing out of your mouth. The only time. And luckily, that's few and far between. That on an everyday basis, that's not what's happening. So I'll set up exercises where I can practice this trust and that I'm not stealing anything. I literally will go like this. We'll take a toy. I'll say, oh, here, get a toy. Yes. Oh, you have it? Come up here. Look what I have. Look what I have. Now, let's say we have this toy in our mouth and we're like, oh, I want both. I'm like, well, you can only have one. So here it's like, oh, we drop this, we grab this. I do not touch this one until I've given you this one and you take this. You take this, you walk away. Okay, awesome. Then now I'm going to take this. I want them to know I am not here to steal your things. I'm not here to take things away from you. So you do not have to feel on edge like, is she going to take this away from me? Because not even 9 times out of 10, more than that, 9.999 times out of 10, I'm not taking things away from you. Again, very small exception of if this thing is actually going to physically cause harm to you, then it's coming out of your mouth. So you have to practice that trust though. Trust isn't just like, oh, okay, you have a dead bird. Don't you trust me? It has to be practiced and it has to be built. So that's when it comes to the high-end resources or objects or things that they have. They have to have that trust. If they don't have that full-on trust, and a lot of people are like, my dog does trust me. Well, they showed you that they didn't. So it doesn't matter how you perceive it. It doesn't. It matters how they perceive it and how they feel. Clearly, they gave you that information that they don't, so you have to do these exchange exercises with them. I do this a lot of times with really high value bones. I'll go and buy, two of the same bones. Let's say marrow-filled bones. Those are my dog's jam. The exact same, nothing different, filled with the same things, looking very similar. So we start with one. My dog's eating it over there. He's like, oh, I love this. This is so great. I don't even go near him. I'm on the other side of the room. I'm 10 feet away. Whatever. I'm not invading your space. I'm giving you the respect I want when I eat a cheesecake. I look at my dog and I'm like, if that was a cheesecake and that were me, what would I want someone to do? What would I would not want someone to do? Now, so let's put that in that scenario. If I'm over in the corner eating a cheesecake and someone's coming into my space, I can tell you already, I'm like, don't touch my cheesecake. But if they were to be, respectfully 10 feet away from me and present to me a whole new cheesecake, I am like running on over. Now, I've changed that perception. At first, I was like on guard, like, what are you doing in my space? Now I'm like, you're my favorite person ever, bringing me more cheesecake, yes. So with this bone exercise, I'll give my dog a bone. I'll be 10 feet away, have the exact same bone, right? Or, well, not the exact same bone, but the same, you know what I mean? The same object, but a different one, because obviously we have two. So we're treating over there. I'll be here. Look what I have. Good job. Good. Oh yeah, you want this one? They usually bring the resource with them because it's of such high value. They don't want to leave it. So they'll bring it with them. They'll come over with it in their mouth, but they do want this one. I give them a choice. It's a choice. This game is built on trust. Trust that I'm not going to steal anything, so I'm not. I put the bone there. They have the bone in their mouth. They're smelling this new one. They're like, I have one in my mouth. Oh, this smells really good too. They drop that one. I give them, good, take this one you haven't touched yet. I do not pick this one up until they have possession of the new one in their mouth. And I repeat that. I do it with bully sticks. I do it with things that are high value, that aren't typically normal to my dog. To say, look, I'm never gonna steal your high value thing. I actually am gonna bring you another one. So this is an exercise we wanna do on the side because, I can't imagine any scenario where my dog actually had a marrow bone and I would have to go over and snag it. I can't even think of a scenario where that would happen. But again, it's trust building. So it has nothing to do with the bone itself. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the relationship that I'm building with my dog. Now, if this is a need to control a situation, that is a whole different game because it doesn't matter how much trust you build within your dog. If they feel like they want to control the situation, then we have to do things completely different. So there, it's how we give the resources that they are trying to control the situation over. Generally, dogs that want to control the situation repeat the behavior in the same, repeat the resource guarding in the same situations. Food, water, so it's repetitive. So what I do is I give them a way that they can control the situation, but it is very structured. So let's say it's water. Here it's, I want to control the water, I have the water. No, so we're gonna go on leash. I'm gonna move you over here. You can control the situation by, I'm gonna ask you for some behaviors. It can be something simple as sit down, wait, sit, whatever it is. You can have the water when you do these. So it's letting them know you can control it by making a decision, but you don't get to control the whole situation here. And it's way more in depth than that. And honestly, that one's more serious and it needs a lot more in-depth steps. That's just a very quick, rendition. But if that's the case, we have a bigger problem we have to work on, and we have to go back to impulse control. But that's just kind of a quick one. Generally though, what I see, probably 60% of the time, it's the first one. It's this resource was just of such high value and I got so excited and so protective of this and I thought it was gonna get taken away, not the controlling factor. But if it is, that's when, okay, now it's time to reach out and we have to specifically build a plan on how we are going to let this dog have some control of a situation, but not what they're doing. We got to counter condition that behavior. So I hope this kind of helps get you an insight of what it is, why it is, and semi what to do, at least with the one that is not the controlling factor. So if you have any questions, reach out.